was us. We were late.
Well, you can
We
see,
dropped the ball.
Look, you guys can see my screen boot and then like hack it.
I don't know, it is questionable to if you guys being late affected it at all. It's very debatable in my
You guys know
as the primary witness.
No, I can tell you for sure it had nothing to do
It was
with
the Del
me.
Taco, yeah.
No, this mic can go out the window because you've got
out
this
the
one
window.
for you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's
We
like
will.
throw it.
We'll tell.
It's for emergencies.
We'll make
Amazing.
sure Schmeigel knows what he missed out on.
We gotta bring some Schmeigel next time. It's not like we hyped the Schmeigel and then are disappointing. It was gonna be a surprise anyway, so we can actually hype him instead.
Oh no, we will. We'll make sure.
All right, let's look at other angles together real quick, everybody, and then we'll get on the station. You go away.
I'm only seeing one angle, man.
I know.
I'm checking. 2. Is 2 enough?
Never. Okay, we'll put you. You can chill out too. Ain't hating.
So fun fact, I've actually been on this station before.
Oh, I bet.
Are
Were
you
you
on
the
like
Rock and Comedy Show?
Yes.
Let's say
Nice.
that clearer. Rock and Comedy Show. Which is...
And allegedly they have a soundbite of me talking about something from Alabama that they use on occasion.
Nice.
Awesome.
We'll have to dig it up.
And
That's
here
funny.
now I can lick my logo. I've been practicing so I can do it without looking.
Yeah. How does it taste?
Green. It's greasy.
I-
Tastes greasy. Oh, I slept on a perfect thing to say there. Everybody. Oh, one
Fresh
more
out of the
thing. The
fire.
window capture. Does she capture? Hey, what's up, John? Hey, let's... oh, no.
I think we
this-
need more logos.
Why am I showing
Can
this?
the logos all flash and be over the top
Yeah.
like a lot of star wipes?
It needs to, like, shoot stuff into the rest of the screen.
That's
like the
exactly
logos.
what we need.
Lasers coming at you.
It starts literally conquering.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see what I forgot on the checklist by just starting. And
Oh, this is exciting. Yeah,
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
just
yeah.
start without
Just
the checklist,
start with the
Perfect.
checklist.
and then it's like, yeah, what
what
could
did I
have gone wrong?
Yeah. All right, everybody.
As long as you have your sound effects, I think we're good.
Oh yeah. That's right. We've got Jonah. We've got Elise. We've got the grease. We're all wearing fleece. My headphones are not plugged in, and that doesn't matter. Hey, everybody.
What episode are we at now?
You know what, though? Check it out. That was for us. We heard that in the monitors, but that wasn't for everybody.
Oh,
Now
they
we need to
missed
start-
out on the music?
This is for everybody. Check it out. That's right. Yeah, I gotta get a crisp one. That's Greasy
These are my-
Conversation
These are my favorites.
on RadioVegas.rocks. Hashtag online is the new FM. Because you gotta have the bloop. People cut out the bloop and you have these bloops at the end, the bloopers as they say. You want like high percentage bloop all the way through.
At least 80%. At
Yeah,
least
yeah.
80% blooper.
80% effort, 120% result. All right. Here we're doing. Okay, hey, guess what? It's deep diving time. We're diving into CES today, you guys. You remember CES?
I'm a little frightened.
Well, it's,
It's
you know,
the tech.
Like the tech company?
Yeah, the tech show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this year was
Do you
all
like-
remote.
Yeah.
We always do like a review of either interesting or terrible stuff that comes out of CES.
Okay.
or interestingly terrible stuff. But first, let's actually at the beginning of the show introduce our guests instead of Kella, who we introduced in the last quarter of the show. Jonah, let's start with you. Tell me about yourself.
I play drums for a lot of shitty bands out
Yeah.
here in Vegas.
Some of my favorite shitty bands.
Ooh. I hope they're greasy enough for this conversation, but local Vegas.
What are they
Loving being
called?
here in the heat.
Well, DJ Dad shirt.
Oh yeah, we're actually doing a secret Sojourner birthday show.
Ah.
coming up.
Oh, what?
We all
Yes.
love Sojourner.
Oh,
Yeah.
never.
I'm just moving this so it doesn't drop you when you turn to look at me.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no. Sojourner, we always did his birthday party at the Phoenix, but last year got a little too crazy, and they didn't want to risk the COVID restrictions on
Poor
us.
Phoenix. I love the Phoenix.
So
Phoenix
it's
is the best.
so it's a secret DJ Dad shirt experience that's gonna happen. If
Yeah.
you're interested, I'm sure you could reach out on the Instagram or
Well-
the Facebooks. One of those things out there.
Since you're bringing it up, why don't we discuss later on about some like streaming possibilities? Like maybe we could get some coverage of it and make it a little more immortal.
I think that sounds.
I think Sojourner would be down.
Sojourner would lose his mind if he has any of
Yeah.
it left.
Yeah.
He's a humble
Fair.
fella. So he's a humble fella. I don't think he would bug me and feel like he was not imposing. So let me like volunteer that. I'll hit him up.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
even more excited.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up my streamy game, and if I like offer things to people, it's something more to live up to than my own deadlines that I can just postpone indefinitely.
Well, if you stream it, will that mean you're gonna bring some instruments yourself?
Of course.
Obviously.
Okay, cool.
Bomb it. Yeah, because I'll probably be there anyway, throwing my noodle down. I
hope
like to
so.
I like to chase Sojourner down with a noodle now and then.
No, well, I hope you like open for us so we can get outstaged like we did last year. Like the last his birthday crazy show, Decaying Tigers played, and they had all
They're
their
so
Game
cool.
Boy. They had all their Game Boys out.
They are. I
and
love them.
They had their black neon jumpsuits, and then we had to play.
I haven't seen Decaying Tigers in a minute. I'm sure their like game is all
The full
hella
band,
improved.
Decaying Tigers, is really good. It's one of those things that the description makes it seem like, that sounds so dope, or it could be like really disappointing because you get
Yeah.
excited about this. It totally lives up to it.
Oh, and,
It's
and then
headbanging.
some.
Surpasses it.
It's
Yeah.
like metal, Game Boy, electronic fusion,
Yeah.
all at the same time, and then we had to play after.
Totally.
Yeah, they go like super deep on the chip tune and like
Not only that, but they know how to be dynamic and like bring it down for breakdowns.
yeah.
So it doesn't feel like it's always heavy or always chill or whatever, but it's mostly higher energy, which is these dope headbang breakdowns to make you appreciate it, appreciate the drops.
It was all
Definitely.
Bowser. Like
Yeah.
I was just,
Yeah.
I was getting so down on like every Bowser lick they were using.
Well, see, this is a great testament
Bowsette.
to like how a great band can continue to inspire because we haven't seen them in about a year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here we
Since
are
that moment.
still singing their praises.
Yeah,
like,
because
1
they're
year
like,
later.
yeah, because they're always so memorable. Just, I mean, because like not a ton of people do chiptune anyway
Yeah.
or use Game Boys, so like when someone does it well, it really stands out too.
This might get
Agreed.
NSFW, but have you guys seen
Perfect.
Bowsette? No, I think we're safe here. I gotta be. Bowsette's awesome. Are you guys familiar with Bowsette? It's like a made up character
Yeah,
more
there's
recently.
not enough
It's like female Bowser.
Ahego cosplays with Bowsette. There needs
Yeah.
to be more.
You're with me.
Then they
Maybe
made
I'll
one.
have to do
Yeah.
a Bowsette cosplay.
Her hentai game's
Yes.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they just made one for like every type of character. They just made a female version of like the Boo and the
Oh,
plant,
the
the
Boo
piranha,
one is newer and it's so
piranha
great.
plant.
Yeah, yeah.
all of them, man. You just have your whole variety. Just
That
yeah.
pink thing that shoots the eggs. I forgot what.
It just sounds too dirty. I don't want to know what
Yeah,
that one
she's
is.
like a curvier chick. It's great. The Mario
just
world of
popping out
hentai.
eggs.
I venture to say this is one of the best things to come out of the Rona is the hentai game in the Mario universe. Is
Logic
just so strong.
exploded.
Have you guys heard of Scroller?
No.
So Scroller with 3 L's is this awesome website that has a directory of Reddit threads that it will just scroll for you. And you can change the speed it scrolls or it'll slideshow them at your whim.
So you can just like set your phone down and
Yeah, and just have it
Man.
scroll hentai for you at its own, at the speed you choose.
Interesting.
Guess.
I'm
We're
already a
front-
fan. I haven't even seen it or used it,
Yeah.
but I'm getting it.
just like the amount of effort I won't have to do anything
Yeah.
is amazing.
So it just occurred to me how much like new family is getting into my show because of all the science tip. And the moment that happens, it always goes adult, like right away. It's like a curse in the universe.
Right?
But now we're getting so good at using terminology that like blends it in this like classic Warner Brothers way to keep us
Right.
PG-13, but always with a wink and a nod to what you'll one day grow up into, young
Yeah,
ones.
Right.
If you have the science and technology luxury, you can know of all kinds of intelligent luxuries. And speaking of intelligent luxuries, we haven't introduced you yet, Elise.
Okay, so I guess on the interwebs I'm known as Murma fucking Licious. But in real life I'm Elise. I bartend at a gaming bar on the east side of Las Vegas. It's called Sunrise Casablanca. I'm there every Thursday and Friday from 8:45 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. And then I run various small hobby businesses out of our house in downtown Las Vegas. I make punk jackets,
Cool.
Oh, nice.
clothing, and I run one of those OnlyFans pages. It's not super provocative, but it's a good time.
Do you do the Etsy thing?
I have not gotten into Etsy, no. See,
Do you just sell anything online?
I
Kaufman?
usually, I'm in Instagram jail right now.
My condolences.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. It's my first time, so Instagram jail, previous version. But I usually sell things through my DMs, and I just run off of those money messaging apps and stuff.
Most people, when they see her jackets, ask her to make them jackets. Like the
Yeah.
manager at 11th Street Records. We were just at
That keeps it going.
we were just
Yeah.
at Dino's the other
It's
day,
usually just
and
word
this
of mouth.
and this chick comes up. She's like, "I love your jacket," and she was like, "Yeah, I made it."
Yeah.
She's like, "Can I buy one?"
Yeah.
So
I love when that happens for something that you made, that someone
Yeah.
likes it.
It's fun. It's a very rewarding feeling, for sure.
What'd you get in Instagram jail for?
I actually don't even know. I didn't post anything too racy. I asked around to the people I knew in real life.
Did
They
you
said
dispute
things
it then?
closed. I tried to, but they were locking me out. It was about a week after Instagram changed their new bylaws.
Yeah, because you
And-
might have gotten like accidentally flagged.
I don't know about that.
Do you have any enemies on Instagram?
Apparently,
Yes.
I do.
So that's probably what happened.
She's got
Yeah,
many.
I will.
Oh,
Right
no.
after I got thrown into Instagram jail, I had actually just made this new Instagram called Photographers in Review on Instagram. Because as a model out here in the industry in Vegas, I've had a lot of shady experiences, and I decided it was time to air out the dirty laundry on those people who are great, like co-creators, those who respect people's like bodies and like personal space and like intellectual property, and then those that really like packed a punch and tried to do things their way without thinking about anybody else's feelings or comfortableness. I don't know. So I made this thing so people could post honest reviews. It would all be vetted by me. And in about a week and a half after I made it, I got thrown into Instagram jail randomly.
Yeah, so guaranteed someone
Yeah.
is like attack flagging you.
Yeah, I assume. But
That's a risky thing to do, but noble. I wonder if there's a way that you could, with less risk and less pressure on yourself, just kind of Skinner method, elevate the people that are really great and
Yeah.
just kind of leave out the other jokers. If as long as you're not like freshly, and if there's a
Yeah.
fresh offense, then like, yeah, call them out. But if you can just keep those people
Yeah.
avoided, then the percentage of people left is more likely to be higher good.
That's
If
true.
you're disqualifying the bad ones.
Yeah, that's actually a smart way to do it.
You end up refining it like when you pan for gold, you get rid of everything but the gold.
It's a great way to put it. I was more just trying to like I'll get countless DMs from people. They're like, "Oh, I saw that you worked with this photographer. Like, how was your experience? Did you feel safe?" And the safety is the big thing. And
For sure.
What spurred it for me is I had an experience where, thank goodness, Jonah was with me to like. I always like call him my assistant. He comes with me, make sure that everything is cool if it's a new photographer. And this guy still was super creepy, and I felt extremely uncomfortable. And then he never gave me my photos. And this is like 5
yeah.
months later.
I hate
That's
hearing this story
Yeah.
as often as I have in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
that's why she wanted to make the page.
Yeah, because like, I
Yeah.
had so this chick who was almost my sister-in-law. She it just turned 21 at the time. She was 20. She's been wanting into modeling for a long time. She kept telling me about it. She'd see my stuff. She wanted to do it. And I would always be like, man, like, I really don't know if it's safe for you. It's like, but if you want to get into it, like when you're younger, that's the time. It's like, just use our house as your safe space. Like, bring them to our house, use the backyard. Like,
you don't want to
do
get
that
trapped
so you're
at
not
someone's,
alone.
Yeah.
You know, and like after that was a few months ago. And then like thinking about every other young woman as the girl who is almost my sister, it kind of inspired me to create that page and like make sure that like the bad guys were like publicly blasted, but like not in a way that I felt like I was getting like a tiny bit of reach, you know, because like I only had, when I got deleted, I had just under 4,000 followers. I'm like, that is not reaching enough people in our community.
It's a great start, though.
It's okay. It's okay. Hopefully it comes back.
We would love to hear input from our little community on ways that you could be supported in doing this without adding any extra risk to yourself. Because fortunately, you're not outing like cartel members. And, you know, you only make so much muscle lifting a camera, but it's enough. I've seen some muscular photographers, so I can't say it's like a wussy crowd to go to war against. But they're not. It's not like a jiu-jitsu club that you're outing either.
Right.
But you know, people are crafty, and I'm really disappointed that you're having that. But maybe you'll get on Instagram's radar as someone that's doing something good and extra at risk. Because I mean, as creators get bigger, even when they're not outing anybody, there's extra risk of someone false flagging them, war flag. I'd love to know terms for this too.
I was just saying, I'm like, are there like Instagram hitmen for like, they're not like, they won't kill you, but they'll just like target your Instagram account. Like people sell that service, I imagine.
I'm sure.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I never thought about it that way before.
And maybe it could come in reverse.
this.
Maybe you could get like an Insta lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that finds
like
those
that.
people and puts them in Instagram jail. Like they write this well-written report and it goes right to the inbox of their connect on Instagram. You know, like people that have a blue checkmark guy. Oh, I got my friend. He blue checkmarks people. He's got the in. He's like, he can talk to the database up in there. Sell your refrigerator. It's no problem.
Like, yeah, your database.
His SEO's
It's
so
me,
good.
your boy.
It's your boy. I get the people with the blue circles with the check mark in it. You know, the pointy circle.
Oh, man.
The pointy circle. I love
Yeah,
that.
you remember the check mark. You don't remember that pointy circle around it, do you? That's how you know I'm legit. You know I know the guy. Like it's, oh, these people are messing with you. These people are messing with your Instagram. Let me find out who these people are.
Right.
I'm going to talk to these people. I'm going to see
Break
what I can
their-
do with their little check. They can get a different kind of check mark. You know, some of those internal check marks when you don't get to post no more kind of check mark. Get one of those.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's like my New York refrigerator salesman that's really deep on SEO.
Which like which just like the whole concept of there still being like a refrigerator salesman is like
Yeah, that's
killing
pretty
me.
great. That's pretty great.
That's the
I
best
got
part.
used refrigerators and I got search engine optimization.
Right. All right. I know all of us have at one time or another thought to inject psychedelic mushrooms.
Inject
Right.
them. Okay, I'm gonna go if
Yeah.
I haven't thought of that.
Yeah, no. So this
That's new.
So, some dude did have this idea, and he went through with it. He made a tea, boiled a tea of shrooms, and injected it.
Oh no.
And it obviously did not turn out well for him.
Oh no.
But the worst thing in my mind, besides just being hella sick, is that the fungus stayed in his bloodstream. So, like, he now has a fungus, like, in his blood circulating through his body.
Growing in there.
Yeah.
That's so
oh
intense.
My, wait.
Right?
So is he gonna get like superpowers from this?
No, actually, like,
He'll just never be able to stop tripping because he's growing his own trip inside of him.
yeah.
Am I wrong? I
No, it doesn't work. No.
That's
So,
way worse, like
Yeah.
medically.
I actually,
I'm wrong.
I actually was curious about that a while ago, because you always hear about like LSD flashbacks and shit, and people, and like
Stays there in your spinal cord.
there's like there's no like medical explanation for what a flashback is. So right now it's just like a psychological phenomenon. But I researched it because I want to know like how does it happen and this and that. But LSD can't pass the brain-blood barrier. So even if it was like in your spine, like nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought that was a myth. 'Cause
Yeah.
it gets turned into something else by your body before it's psychoactive, right?
And like even if people do have some type of flashback experience,
Mhm.
it could just be like some other thing. You know, it's not. But so that's the reason why this guy can have like
Interesting.
mushroom fungus in his blood and not gonna. But he still got hella sick though.
Oh.
So it did not turn out well for him. I think he got
Tell
all
me
like
more.
the worst body experiences of the trip
Oh.
without the trip. So
Oh, crazy.
it's what it seems like. Yeah.
This is what happens when you try to do science without research. Because the first thing is that you're not supposed to boil mushrooms. The psilocybin is damaged by too much heat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can't. If you make tea, it can't be too high temp.
Oh yeah, and also, yeah, I know the psilocybin's turned into something else in the stomach before it's psychoactive, so that makes sense why it wouldn't do that in the blood.
Hmm.
Speaking of that, Hamilton Morris, have you guys been checking out the new Hamilton Morris's Pharmacopoeia?
I haven't seen his
Stuff.
new stuff.
So Vice is trickling a lot of it out just on YouTube for free, and it's so great. And on his personal YouTube channel, he just interviewed the guy. Let me pause and breathe a moment.
Guy
It's
with
worth
the
it.
face
And the hair.
The guy that
and the nose.
yeah. Oh, he had all these things. That's what's throwing me off. Is like, oh, that's really narrowing it down. It's so close.
He was in that thing though, right?
Whoa. You know,
What did he do?
He knows
The
that
guy-
person.
Did he like do stuff?
Hannibal Buress. Hannibal Buress is host on the show that Hannibal Buress was a
Eric
guest
Andre,
on.
Wow.
the crazy guy.
Eric,
He did have the hair. You were,
Yeah, he
you-
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
I thought he
And the
like.
nose,
I
too,
thought he
yeah.
got rid of his hair though recently.
Oh.
Like he sold it.
Sold it.
Yeah.
Well, he had to make a buck. Like Adult
Millions
Swim
of
really
dollars.
wasn't, you know.
he
pushing
wears
this
wigs
stuff anymore.
now. He just only wears wigs.
Good for him.
Look how
It's low
realistic this wig
maintenance.
is too.
Oh, I
It
love
looks
him.
just like his regular hair.
Oh no, that's sewed in.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's woven, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Embroidered.
embroidered. Oh, I love embroidered hair. I'm linking it at the bottom of the news notes. Of course, as always, greasyconversation.com. You can see our links and news notes live.
So did Hamilton do like an episode with that guy and they did some drugs together? Because who would want to do drugs with Eric Andre? That dude seems like
He's
out
so
of control,
intense, yeah.
insane.
But when he's grounded, he speaks truth. He's become more of a chiller evangelist for
For Christ.
therapeutic is the word I was hunting for.
Yeah. Let's go. I
uses
might have
of
to like
psychedelics.
reinvestigate some of his stuff because I just always remember him being like out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it also. But most of his media stuff has been trying to speak out for therapeutic uses of psychedelics.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and just generally the concept of allowing every molecule to be illegal so that there's a legal route to regulate these things, and we take the markets of them that cannot be stopped out of the hands of criminals. So if you don't have people trafficking the drugs along with humans and killing each other in the streets over this thing, basically all the stuff that happened over alcohol in the Prohibition, if you take that away, then you have the only access options that are viable to people being ones that you can regulate their safety, even if it's not as safe as everyone wants everyone to be. Like, look,
Yeah.
if you
More
put
testing kits, more regulations.
Testing
we can
kits-
tax it.
yeah,
Yeah, oh.
make all these things, at least the safest version of these things, available for sale, so that no one's going to want to do something more dangerous and dirty and employ criminals to do it. When there's an option that's at least close enough, like, oh, maybe it doesn't make my eye twitch like that dirty meth did. At least this person's going to be doing something that'll kill them way slower.
But then you have to think about all the countries that have all these legalized products, and you know,
All the what?
all the
There's-
rates of crime that are in those places. Are
They know
always-
they're not legal in those places. They're just as oppressively illegal. It's just that there's like rates of crime, because the only places I can think of that there's more crime and drugs are rampant are like South America, where it's only as legal as the real government of the cartels. The actual government still has it illegal. They're just under the footprint of a government in the process of being couped. Venezuela, that one that starts with an H.
Honduras.
Yeah, and like I'm not positive on that, but
Haiti.
there's the only places where most drugs are legal are like dream places like Amsterdam and what is it, Colorado?
They decriminalized some
psychedelics.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did Oregon.
Yeah, so we've been actually looking at the stocks of those companies. So
Nice. Yeah, see, and it
Like weed
works.
stocks?
jumping in
Mm.
on some of these companies that make pharmaceutical, mushrooms.
And most of Europe is transitionally
move.
there where these certain substances are illegal, but there's legal variants of them that you can get on a treatment program and have. And you have it alongside counseling instead of just throwing someone in jail to learn more criminal stuff they can do instead.
Yeah. I kind of want to go like back to hardcore prohibition just because, we can see more Tommy guns.
Tommy guns.
That's what it's all about.
For the Tommy gun factor, I don't disagree.
Well, I mean, even when it comes down to marijuana, like it was the whole like marijuana prohibition was enforced by big tobacco. You know, it's like just
A
like
lot of it, yeah.
they're like, oh, like look at us over here. It's like we're way better for you. It's like no, like that wacky weed, it's so bad for you. It's like instead, it's giving us aren't we at like one of the highest countries for having cancer? Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and like we continue to smoke like crazy.
Well, when you make something illegal that is part of someone's religion, there is always going to be backlash and an unavoidable, especially if it doesn't hurt anybody. Particular like that, it's just flawed from the ground up. These are things that if we go not even that far back in human history and written human history, were a part of the everyday bloodline of so many people that the chemistry of their history is woven in things that we can't just, in the last 100 years, 150, decide, this is suddenly illegal and expect that to work without a black market. And when you have a black market, you incentivize and make a whole pathway for tons of other crime. It's just ridiculous. That's only one of the factors for just legalizing everything, taxing it, and if you're really bothered by something that you don't think should be illegal, tie it to a treatment program. So these people have a way to substitute it with something else for problems with escapism. Because you can't just stop doing that and then all of a sudden have it solve the problems that caused you to do it in the first place.
Right.
It's just going to be replaced with something else until whatever is fundamentally wrong or broken or there to be escaped from as a life situation is remedied. So we're just putting Band-Aids on stuff that needs medicine. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing, like especially with like people that do finally get the gumption to go into therapy. If you go to like some offices, like all they'll try to do is pump you full of like antidepressants and all the different drugs that they think could possibly help mask the issue. But unless you're actually like taking mindfulness tools to combat your actual situation and like really confront what's happening, like the issue will never go away. It's just going to continue to be cushioned, and there's going to be new like bouts of trauma that get layered over it that were caused by the underlying issue that you've been kind of padding with these drugs over the years. And like they never tell you that. Like they're like, oh, like here are the side effects, but they never tell you the real side effect is that you're just going to push back having to deal with your trauma either years or you're never going to deal with it till you die and you're going to be restless soul, like it's a
I think that could
terrible
be
process.
one of the worst ideas to like if we medicalize certain narcotics, even if they are at low doses, you might just create more people trying to find new avenues to get it, as well as like people trying to abuse that system. I think it could.
Well, it sounds like
go
you're talking about the
completely
opiate crisis right there. Well, I think it can, and it did with the opiate crisis.
I think it
but
just
these
might be
things weren't
another
tied to.
version.
Well, these were not only not tied to treatment programs, frequently not tied to programs to get off of them when they're not needed for pain control, and overprescribed for pain control. So if you take them away from being a product and let some actual government by the people regulate these things instead of a corporation or government controlled by corporations regulating it in a way that totally encourages overuse of it and making lots of money. If you don't do that, you're fine. Because, I mean, look at what we do with weed. It's too weak to use it as a good example, but there's programs where people are given an opiate and a treatment program and weaned off of opiates. It's totally different than when people are given an opiate for pain management and then just regimented it with no even education about getting off of it or what it's doing to their liver or anything. So by legalizing everything, you at least make a path for a treatment and a path for safe access. And we can't argue anymore that causes more use. There's been too many substances that have been legalized and illegalized back and forth, kratom, salvia, that didn't lead to dramatic uses for more than a trend burst. And it just became something else that it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or at least
it doesn't spiral like that like people are afraid of.
At least not even legalizing all the drugs. Like, you don't have to legalize heroin and all that shit, but decriminalizing it so it can be treated as a medical issue rather than like a criminal issue.
Yeah, we're not
That is
talking
one of
about
the
setting up
foundational things.
shops for harder drugs.
Yeah.
But just instead of throwing someone in jail for them, providing them a way to get something that's at least an analog that's safer, and trusting them to regulate and decide what is like a safe amount for them or not, with a treatment program available, so they don't have to feel trapped with it either.
So
Once it becomes an addiction.
is it a thing? Like, do they have rehabs where you can go in and like kind of do it like a barter system? It's like, I'm going to trade like 6 months of work for like this amount of time in rehab.
Not in the U.S. There's
I've
some
heard of this.
There's some
Yeah.
places in Europe that'll do that, where you can like work for whatever program it is. I think they do some programs that like help alcoholics, or maybe it's like methadone treatment type stuff. But yeah, for like people who are homeless and they'll have like no means to do anything. There's work programs, but here you have to get like free ones that are like run by a church or
Right.
If the
like
place
Salvation Army or something.
if the place where talk therapy and treatment options are like the most pushed on you is also the place where it's the cheapest and cleanest to get the hardest drugs that are the hardest for people to function on, that also are the ones that people can fall into patterns of escapism and mask other problems with their life with, that's all in the same pocket, that the treatment's also where their misguided treatment is available, then it's like being in the checkout line at the grocery store and there's just like, oh hey, you can impulse buy better alternatives to drug addiction.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, I can just totally, there's a pamphlet right here that I was handed me along with this. Anyway, there's way better, more thought out details to this than like this overview, but you brought up some major argument points to it that are commonly there that actually have had a lot of research disproving them more towards this point. And being able to even research these things and talk about studies with this and put the data on the table is new to all of us. And I think that's really great and something that's great about being able to discuss these things now. And like also meet compromises and take concepts from people that are both for and against and make these diplomatic decisions that everyone can be content with. And people can understand other people, because there's a lot of lack of sympathy for people that are in headspaces that we don't understand and aren't willing to understand as far as like mental health situations. People don't realize how little of this is under some people's control when they can even be speaking like, I'm choosing to do this, and they're not really choosing. That's just the
Right.
person that's at the steering wheel then. Another person's at the steering wheel later suffering. And
Oh, I definitely agree with you that addiction is probably one of the like not just like frowned upon, but it just has like such a negative connotation.
such
where it
stigma,
doesn't-
yeah.
the stigma there is just so real that it's a self-inflicted crime, that people have control over it, when that's going to be further from the truth.
Yeah, and then there's different flavors, and there's different flavors of schizophrenia too. They're dramatically different, like how little we understand paranoia, and a completely different pocket, Tourette's. So you have people that like, oh, there's just some crazy person walking the street like yelling racist stuff. No, they have like a tick. There's another thing grabbing the control there and not doing what they want done, and it's taken over their life in a way that like we have to snap these people up and treat them. There's medication for this. There's exercises and things to be done to like redirect ticks, and just generally what we do with an autistic child to bring them up as like a normal child with some extra like successful powers sometimes, rather than someone that in the past would have been just neglected and been confused by, and they would have been treated like a dullard when they might have genius capability in certain pockets. The same thing can be done with people with schizophrenia and Tourette's that didn't get that treatment as a kid somehow, and that breaks my heart. But I don't know what specifically to do for it, so any resources you all have to pile around this episode for anybody, pile it on. Hey, Steven.
I know, we'll just throw him in jail.
He mentions the Salvation Army is essentially a giant labor camp disguised as a rehab resource.
Yeah, I wanted to talk.
I've heard about this.
Because I actually went through that program.
No way. Tell me more.
Yeah, it was like, it's the 6-month thing, and like, off like the 15 in Lake Mead or something, there's the big Salvation Army building, and it's basically like a big dorm, and they have usually around like 80 people in, and it's free. They're like a nonprofit, so you have to go and like speak with a counselor, and then they get you in, and it's usually like 4 dudes to a room, but you basically like work in a warehouse and like process stuff all day in the heat, and then like twice a week they preach at you and like throw Bibles at you and stuff, and like, yeah, it's
which isn't treatment, and it's being masqueraded as treatment, and that drives me nuts too.
Yeah, like I only made it through because I was just at my wit's end, like with my own life, and it wasn't like getting preached at for 6 months that did anything. I was like, this is pretty much the only place I can come to, so I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, the lack of options in this country, where and all over Europe is the treatment programs is like the thing, and they put 1/10 of as many people in jail. The only other country that jails the highest percentage of their population is Brazil, which is like half civil war all the time.
Right.
And it's by a factor of 10 to the next one, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's 8, but 1 in 100 Americans is in jail. Like, there's no reason to think that Americans are more bad, that there's more criminals in America. No, it's just how we deal with our mentally ill is disgusting.
Yeah.
And we deal with so many things. There's research after research. We've brought it up too much to have it even be coming up anymore. But it was linked in our last episode. New research about private prisons leading to more people going to prison.
Yeah, like
when you make it a business that makes money.
Exactly.
Counties with private prisons like arrest more people. Huh. That's weird. I wonder how that happens. Yeah. Because
when we were kids, and this, I'm just going to put this in a bow to then send us off to Bob Thornton Town.
Yeah.
But I remember when we were young, there is this feeling of like, oh, big government is bad. Don't let the government get bigger. And then it turned into, oh, while we were doing that, all the corporations got bigger, and they're the government now.
Yeah. Speaking of which, should we pay some
smaller corporations that are friends with us?
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less.
800-918-7169.
800-918-7169. That's 800-918-7169.
Hey everybody, Brendan from the Brendan and Kevin Show here, and I am here to talk to you about the Cush NC noise canceling headphones from Kicker Audio. Now, I just purchased a pair of these bad boys, and I gotta say, these things are so awesome. And to prove how awesome they are, I have traveled all the way to Germany to this really loud and terrible Polka Fest, and I want to click on this button right now to show you how good they are. So, with this little click, and just like that, all the noise is gone. These things are so awesome, and you can only get them at kicker.com. So I want you to go to kicker.com and check them out. They have some of the best headphones around. So if you're like me and do a lot of audio from home recording, live radio, anything of that sort, go check these out. But Kicker doesn't just do headphones. They got your car covered. They got your power sports covered. They even got your boat covered. Who doesn't want a kick-ass sound system in their boat when they go out to Lake Mead and throw an awesome boat party? So go check them out, kicker.com. Tell them RadioVegas.rock sent you. And in the meantime, I gotta find my way home. I don't know how I'm gonna get back from Germany in time for the show. But until then, see you later.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Yeah.
And it's Greasy Conversation. Behold, it's CES time. CES is upon us. We're in Vegas. But like not the trade show places. They just finished this giant room in the wing of the convention center, and it's so tragic.
That it's empty.
Yeah, it's like a whole acre of convention center or something. It's probably more than that.
Because it was like all virtual, right?
Yeah.
CES was all virtual. Everyone got stuff shipped to them, and basically everyone looked like PewDiePie reviewing memes. Reviewing the tech this year. I leaned heavily on CNET, and for all these to check them out further.
The rollable phone. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
I'm taking you to the rollable phone. This is rollable. Okay, this is Greg's pick for CES favorite.
I don't even want it because I don't care about phones that much, but like I kind of do want it.
Yeah, thanks.
It extends.
Look at that
Somehow.
stretchy boy.
Wait, that's trippy.
So for
So
the
it goes
audio
from
people,
phone to like iPad.
Yeah.
like
the
tablet
phone
or whatever.
is extending sideways to go from like a phablet tall boy phone like a Galaxy S to a wide fella, and it's by LG. LG's like bendy phone kings. This is obviously green screened, but it's still a really cool demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you see the hand twitch and the inserted part doesn't move, they didn't even motion track it, but it still looks really cool.
I want one. I just swear they're like the little keyboard elves in there, like with cranks.
Well,
That's what I imagine.
How else would
So
it work?
Exactly.
How long do you think that thing will function like that?
That's a fun question. Like, how many
Yeah.
bends before no more bends?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that'd be
Moving-
too many moving parts
How
in
many
there.
Exactly what I was
how
gonna
many
say. It's always
presses
what
or how
goes.
many toddlers get to touch that before
One.
it stops like moving?
Only
you
one.
know? Like, I think
When
it would
are you
only
gonna-
take one.
The corner of your fingernail wasn't trimmed enough, and you go to swipe, and it's just like the cover of those books we had in elementary school that you'd rub your nail on it would make this big scrape
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
and it was so
The
addictive.
awkward
Mhm.
like holographic thing that was on there. Those weird 3Ds.
Yeah.
This is a lamp that detects if you fall down.
A lamp.
Yeah, this lamp calls a loved one if you fall down.
Shut up.
Yeah,
No.
which is
I
great.
want it. I want it to like wait till I fall down and then like you just hear it clap and the lights go off.
Or it's like a soundtrack.
Yeah, right.
They got a laugh
Wait,
track
a
on the
hanging
lamp.
That's so crazy.
All right, pick out another
The flying car, dog.
Come on.
Cadillac, flying car.
flying, not just a flying car, a flying Cadillac.
What's a handy robot?
Oh, we're going to look at that one next.
No,
That's
I
exactly
love
what
this.
everyone's thinking.
The AR in this demo is great, too.
I guess the future is now.
Look at the light source is the same on him as on the device or on the thing. They did that AR part. So let me describe it. Or how would you guys describe this
A drone.
particular?
It looks like a
It looks like a
drone that you
drone,
can get
yeah.
inside.
But doesn't it look like a drone that someone folded like a letter?
Yeah, it's like a drone you can stand in.
Yeah. So the back
Standing
to
on cop drones.
It almost
Yeah.
looks like the grandpa drone, right? Because like it's like
It's a Cadillac.
supportive and, yeah, like you can like sit there comfortably and adjust like your seat pressure and everything.
it's a posturepedic drone. The two front propellers are at foot height, and the two back ones are like further up at head height. Yeah. And it looks like it was like Z folded further. Did we talk about Handy next? That was the one I meant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we already bumped our way into Handy. Handy was a product by someone else, and Samsung bought it. Don't
And
you
it's
wish
just
your
like a chore
pupils could
doing
do
robot.
that? It does. It pours wine, and
Ooh.
it does dishes. It has another eye on its
What?
hand. It can look at stuff with its hand. It's so advanced. I wish I could do that.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna take over the world.
If
I
this-
hope so.
The
I
AI
really
in
do
there.
hope so.
The
They are-
AI in
Please
that.
take it.
It's-
I
Take
think they'll
it.
do a much better job.
Spoiler alert, it's already happened.
I'm fine. Let me just
Wash these dishes.
put dirty food on.
Yeah,
the
as long
dishes
as they
and-
keep washing the dishes, like who gives a fuck? They
Yeah.
can just do whatever they want.
That reminds me about this concern of taking over the world. Remember when Elon Musk was really getting us afraid of AI?
Mm-hmm.
He refined that in his more recent Joe Rogan interview.
Right, because he was taken out by AI and now they're speaking for him.
Yeah, and I love what they said after controlling him, and that's that we're
It's
going to
the
start.
nanotechnology that's in his blood.
It's so good. It makes his blood taste better as a vampire too, because it's like it's like extra instead of just copper. It tastes like there's some nickel and
There's
iron
zinc
in
in
there.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that zinc flavor, you guys. Do you
Man, I
ever have
can't
a-
wait to get a
We
leg.
sprinkle it in for like all of our food.
Like
Yeah.
a jean jacket button. I
Yeah.
just like to rip the buttons off a jean jacket and just
Chomp them down.
hang out with them in my mouth. Yeah, like a shawl. So on that note, Elon was talking about the human race becoming the thinking organ of this cyborg, and not I meant to say feeling organ. So all the left brain number crunching stuff that's more analytical, as that becomes handled by these mathy machines, and all of the recovering of the entire knowledge of humanity in our pockets, we've already become cyborgs functionally. We don't remember people's phone numbers anymore. We don't remember tons of historical stuff that we can just look up. Instead, we have brains that we're all nerds now. Whatever we're into, whatever show or pursuit or whatever interest, each individual that we bump into in our lives is usually like an expert in a thing or two. Whether we think that thing is useful or not is up for debate, but it's at least useful to them and their community culturally. Everyone's got this clique online of other people into whatever weird hobby they have or whatever thing they're into, and those people all consort and become like doctorate level experts in like, oh, I can tell that's a 69.5 Mustang, or like I can tell she's wearing Mac and not Urban Decay because of that the way the light's hitting it.
That's
So-
like, yeah.
And because of everyone being these experts, everyone also has all these. It's actually unrelated to the expert thing, so segue fail. But we're always going to be the ones feeling. You can't just by crunching this data feel what's right for everyone being happy in the same way, and like make the same kind of like moral compromises that help us all to live in a community, even when people are different and have different needs. And we can't say, oh, because this person needs this, they're like bad because I don't need this. So why do they need that? You can put these things together and not just have you can't crunch numbers to make these things get compromised and these things get worked out. So we're always going to be the emotional organ to determine what is beautiful and teach these machines what aesthetics and what designs are more than just balance and just, okay, does it look heavier on this side or this side, or all these like basic design concepts that Squarespace just does automatically for you when you make a template website. So like even the analytical parts of things that were emotional before, like design, it's all understood. There's design conventions. But when you have like, oh, the accent color and what a little splash happens over here, all these emotional things, all these things that make creating art communicate emotions. This is such higher level stuff, and such stuff that's such high level that we don't even see it in the animal kingdom the way we see it in humans. The self-reflection. Only a handful of animals seem to self-reflect at all, and they're usually ones that spend a lot of times hanging out with humans. So we're always going to be this higher level organ of processing data on this emotional self-reflective level, that we could be the thing in the universe biographer.
I'm of the opinion that like computers would be able to make art at some point. Like AI would be able to do it and it'd be indistinguishable from a human.
But it'll have learned it from us. We'll be the organ at which all the inspiration originated. Because for us to think it's art, for us to think it's beautiful, it has to conform to our standards.
Well, that's like the difference between like symmetry and like versions of dynamic symmetry that are out there. There's like plenty of mathematical papers that have been written about the formulas that make something more pleasing to the eye versus not. And those formulas always have a bit of irregularity within them.
Do they have to have some randomness in them?
There is randomness and irregularity within the formulas themselves. So
Fabulous.
there's always something about it. I can send you some of those articles. 'Cause
Please
I've got
do.
plenty of them.
Yeah,
I love that
throw
type
me
of stuff,
some,
yeah.
and we can do some further dive in the next episode. On that note, before we go to the next CES thing, what are some other thoughts you're having with your AI experience? I want to take advantage of that while that's here. I probably triggered some stuff.
Yeah, you did, because
Yeah.
I've taught some pretty intense math courses.
Wow.
But most of the stuff, most of the mathematics that I always teach about is always the underlying theoretical forces of it. The applications are way beyond, but it's like understanding how the formulas get put together, and a lot of it has to do with randoms. Like random numbers, like sequences and series is like a really big piece of how AI works. But that's like always combined with something that's always changing, something that's always immutable, like different types of eigenvalues. So there's
and probability, which people think with randomness, humans' conception of random is so different than real random and
terrible,
real
yeah.
probability.
It's pretty amazing what we are able to know versus what we can actually use. So there's so much that we know that should be able to be the basis or the groundwork for this stuff, but what we're actually able to use and apply is so far down the line. Like a lot of stories about famous mathematicians who like work with sequence and series, like everything that they've created, like the formulas that they've built, only get used like thousands of years later when we're actually able to apply them. And I think that's one of the craziest.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like one of my colleagues like just wrote like a really cool, like her master's thesis was on sequences and series, and I read it, and there's zero application for it currently. But like in the future it could have like big implications with things like AI. So it's all about what we can map out first, and then like can we actually apply it. So I think that's where I don't know. I think that's like where the really intriguing parts come. Like if you're able to see it work in the numbers, but you can't apply it yet. But we'll have the technology in the future to be able to do
like
so.
Being Pythagoras or Fibonacci before it even like applies
Has a
to anything.
reason. Yeah.
That's
That's
crazy.
amazing.
That's why I always watch some like documentaries on math type stuff, and there was one on like origami that started out being about origami, and then it was on like three profiles on three different types of like origami artists, and one of them was a mathematician, and he was studying it to learn like something about the least amount of folds to make a huge variety of shapes or something, but it had like interesting applications for like material science and that type of stuff, which is like just they're just folding paper, but like it's crazy.
Hey, you know what? It's time for smart companions.
Yeah, dude, I want these.
I hope is that a pet?
Yeah,
That's a
gonna be.
robot? Is it a robot pet?
it is, dude. You picking
I
up what I'm
can't.
putting down?
I can't. I just heard the name. I was like, what? Smart
Well, it's not
companion
actually-
robot pet.
It's not really a pet. It's
it does look like a
it's
cat.
even weirder.
What?
It's just a pillow with a tail.
That's creepy.
I can't.
It doesn't
What?
do everything you
I've
want a
seen
pet
this
for.
horror movie and like they win.
Boy Stewart.
It's not child's play though. It's just a little ooga. What's
This
what's his name?
reminds me a lot of when I was younger. There were these little like robots that were like cats or puppies or something, and like you could interact with them. You could feed them with like a light up little like kind of like we have like a QR thing. Like this is like reads off of like digital waves, and like so like you'd have like a fish that had like digital waves on it. It's like like, it ate, right? It's like that's what I feel like, and that was like 15 years ago. I feel like this is what those have become.
So I'm assuming it like purrs and gives off warmth, right? And it kind of moves on its own. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it just
It
has
does
like the
not.
tail.
It only moves the tail. It doesn't travel anywhere.
Okay.
Then how did it get in the bag?
That they put that in there to be cute. They put it half
Yeah.
in there and then pulled the bag off so the tail could go up and act surprised.
But there's
They're
another.
so funny.
There was another one they made that is like a little
The
creature.
little one.
So they made the big one, and then you saw the small one with the
On
stout
top,
little
yeah.
tail. And then
I
there's
need to
even another
find-
one that has little eyes. It's like a full-on. They're going full creature, and that's where the murder happens.
Oh god.
And it's great.
We reported on this way back in the last.
Well, when it was the
CES,
first one, yeah.
and I
when
think
they
it
just
was
had the
like-
big pillow.
It was just the big one. The little one. So you said there's little eyes on it. I'm having a hard time
So-
finding the dang
Are these
thing.
made for people who like don't want the responsibility of having an actual pet?
I think
They
they're
want
kind
the
of like
comfort.
Well, some people
self-therapeutic.
can't.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
therapeutic or
So you're-
geared toward that.
Bedridden or something.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think also they use them for like, maybe not these specifically, but things similar to this for like patients
PTSD or
patients
something?
with dementia, like
Oh, wow.
Alzheimer's and stuff.
QOOBO, and so it really
Quobo.
does look like a round furry pillow with just a tail. I want to see the little one's eyes. That teaser video. That's
Just reminds me
15
of the
seconds.
Felix the cat cuckoo clock.
Yeah.
It's shoot, 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 shoot.
Small.
I want one. At least it's not. There was one that was on. It had to be a few years ago, but it was this weird little like creature that had long arms that would like hang around your neck, and you like would hold it almost like a baby, but it was supposed to be like a
E.T.?
comforting thing. It didn't look. It had a weird like skinny head. It was just overall weirdly shaped, and it just had these long skinny arms. I remember that would like just suck out your soul at night. You know.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Oh, look at this little guy jamming.
Oh, we both want one.
Do you-
I'm waiting
do you
for them
really
to come
want
out in
one,
other
Waz?
colors. I want the little one. I'm waiting for it to come out in a color that doesn't remind me of a cat that I miss.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
It needs to be a color that's not. I'm like going to have sad memories. Did it fart? Oh, loud noises scare it.
Yeah.
That heals your
That
heart.
one. I've never had a cat that color, so I want that one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
That is a cool idea though, honestly.
Actually, I want the black one. Matte black every day.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about.
You know the hair.
Real
You know
cats.
the shedding.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The black goes on everything.
I just live in cat hair.
Yeah.
I just like that's my natural
We
state.
do as well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out MKBHD. Matte black every day. So I'm gonna put a better link to the QOBO on here for you fellas.
I got a quick one about Elon Musk.
Wait.
No.
Cue it next because we've got one more. I believe one more CES thing that is why this. Don't show this. I'm showing the ones I probably linked to just before to after. Whoa, let me just say words out of sentences. There's a new Zen book and it has 2 screens and it's so cool. Why don't I just have people look at it while... No, you should see. Okay, sorry. For the audio people, what we're doing is looking at a laptop that has a screen in the upper half of the bottom part. So
Where
it's
the
like
keyboard is.
one
yeah.
and a half screens, yeah. And then the keyboard and mouse are just in the very bottom. And it's really great. It came out in 2019, but there's a new one where the bottom screen leans up at you. And the whole hinge situation is really cool. This is not that one again. Shucks. Let me trust my link and be more patient, because I have it linked here in the the news notes, of course, but it's looking at all these other dang laptops. Maybe I didn't link the right there. Golly. Okay, I'm gonna update.
I was
this.
about to say, yo,
This
you
link.
definitely did not link the right place.
Copy. I'm fixing
Just
it
gotta
for
throw
you
that
all.
out there.
So see that you can touch the knobs and look at this situation.
What? That's
That's
cool.
really interesting.
So you've got a control surface at your fingertips. It's half height 1080p, so everything fits nicely in it. Now, if you're like me, you already work on 2 monitors on the regular. So to have an extra monitor hands-on right there, especially for moving, taking links as notes, taking notes on what you're doing and writing down notes, or taking from stuff you're researching and dumping it in.
And knobs, man.
Yeah, we were
Just
talking about
all
how
knobs.
important research and knobs are. Both of those things we talk about a lot. Yeah, this doesn't have the timestamp. I goofed. Okay, fixed it. Fixed it in real time. There's a rundown here. There's a whole slew of new stuff you put on your eyes for you all to check out. Linked in here too. That's all kinds of VR.
Everything goes on your eyes. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a new way of doing a VR lens where it mimics the focus distance sensing that your eyes do by telling distance based on how you focus, as well as, the 2-eye situation. This glove is really cool. There's like wires in the back of the fingers. So when you go to grab something, it resists. It's got little brakes. So those brakes stop the wires from being able to pull, so your hands
You're
feel
actually
resistant.
grasping around whatever object you're playing with.
Yeah, it feels
That's
like you
really
grabbed
cool.
something. Right now they're
Yeah.
only like developer priced, and you notice there's 3 strings for each finger, so you can control which knuckle is feeling the resistance.
Oh,
so you
wow.
can really articulate the shape of what you're grabbing in that way.
Crazy.
Man, I can't wait.
There's a
for VR
prototype
like
version
that.
there. It looks like
Those are
Skeletor
some.
fingers.
Those are some creepy like face hugger
Yeah,
leg
aliens.
hands.
Yeah, they show that really quickly. Let's look real quick with that. Oh jeez.
When he does like the creepy move.
Yeah,
That-
that.
There it is.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's 3D printing, y'all.
Busting out of your chest. Man, VR is getting crazy. How do you guys think you would risk getting stuck in VR? 'Cause
Strapped in
I
it.
would totally forget about everything else. Like, I'd just be like, I live here now.
It's easier here. Everything's better.
Right?
Yeah, you just wake up for
It's
an hour.
comfortably sunny every day. Like it's
Right.
been in
Sleep
Vegas
in
the
it.
last 2 days.
Like
Yeah.
the thing that I always think about with VR is like I just feel like everybody out there that is purchasing a product for VR things, I feel like you're just paying big corporations to do their research for them.
Yes.
Especially if
Yeah,
you
pretty
like
much.
agree to like give them the cookies or like whatever it is that you agree to give them for before your video game to like get whatever features, blah blah blah. Like you are literally just feeding them back information so that they can make their AI technologies better.
Absolutely.
And you're paying them to do it. It's the most genius
Yeah.
like framework I've ever seen, and it's crazy like on what such a wide scale it's gotten to.
In lots of different industries, because tech is getting, there's tech for every industry now, and the enthusiasts are all about supporting that. The people that want to buy the latest, greatest thing, they know they're helping pay for it, the research, and they're excited to be at the frontier.
Yeah.
I tend to
Because
like
they want to live there.
getting something a generation old and working for people that like to be at the frontier, so I can get paid to play with the stuff that the people with money are confused by because the manuals aren't good yet and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you get the frontier employer, but live on that nice, safe second gen.
Yeah.
So if they already made the hand, like how close do you think they're gonna go to making like a full body suit?
That's a solid question, because right now
Yeah.
it's not even in the consumer space. You'd have to be a corporation to
Just
afford
to
that
get
thing
the
for
hand.
training. Yeah,
So if their hand, I just feel like it's only a matter of time where the hand turns into the full suit.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
definitely working on like haptic feedback suits, and we just covered one. It was like this rig that has to be like attached to a wall, and it has these huge braces that
Oh,
like
that's
will hold up your
awesome.
body and your legs,
Really?
and they like walk with your legs, so you can
You'll have to-
simulate like walking in a free environment, even though you're not.
You'll have to
going
tune
anywhere.
into last week's episode to see what that looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. It's a huge
Perfect.
rig,
Guess
but
we have our
You're like
homework.
on a gimbal. You sit on like a
Really?
gimbal,
Yeah.
stand, and it's this room-sized thing. Because we were talking about with Kella, it's the Kella episode. We're talking about what happens when some nephew walks into the room,
oh yeah,
and you're like swinging, like learning karate moves like Elvis, and gimbaling around, and the nephew goes through a window.
it's bound to happen eventually.
Well, see what in my head I'm seeing the big like walker suits from the Avatar movie that came out in like 2008.
Oh yeah.
That's what I see. It's like
I think it's
those
like that.
big.
Yeah.
Imagine like just the leg part of something like that,
Yeah.
and then a dude
big
just
ol'
sits in
gimbal.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
on a gimbal.
So I've got a product, you guys. We're back to having products that we push. Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So this is
It's only $9.99 right now if you call in. Right?
It's true. You've all been bowling. Well, you know when you get your bowling shoes, they spray the stuff in the bowling shoes to deodorize them.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they probably do that with the stinky laser tag suits. This is going to be just like that. You're going to have a nice expensive glove like that to go to some VR parlor, like a VR arcade, and we got to deodorize these gloves with all these stinky nephew hands being up in there. So that's my product. Is I'm going to sell spray deodorant, like for
VR
bowling
glove?
shoes, but it'll be for all these VR armpit gimbal time.
That
And
sounds
you guys
like
can
Yeah.
get it on the ground floor.
Nephew remover.
When you say VR parlor, that just sounds so unsanitary.
Yeah, it does seem really dirty
It's a VR.
right off the bat.
It's a VR bathhouse.
Extra greasy.
Extra
Yeah.
crazy.
VR table showers.
Oh man. I found this other. It's also a glove, but it's not for VR yet. But it is an impulse controller that reads your muscle signals before you actually do the thing.
Is that linked in here?
Yeah, it should be somewhere. I
Nice.
can't remember where it is. It's not labeled, but it should be neuro controller.
Nice.
Yeah, impulse neuro controller. Yeah, so like before you go to click the mouse, just the muscle movement of you preparing to click the mouse like triggers the controller. So we get like way,
That was made for
Faster.
people for video games.
yeah.
Definitely.
Kind of like there's a thing we looked at. I think it was that same episode where this, forgive me, but something plegic. I'm not sure which kind of plegic this fellow was
Quadriplegic.
grabbing. It would have been that. Yes.
Yeah.
Grabbing a food and bringing it to his mouth and taking a bite with just brain controlling a hand. And he didn't have to look like the Doc and with the head thing when he first sees Marty in the past. It was way more discreet.
When you could see like shoulder movements and stuff from him like thinking about using the muscles and then the robot arms like swinging around, like I love stuff like that, and I can't wait till I can be a cyborg starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And you
So
better
you're gonna
have
get
a
robot legs? Is that the first move, or?
fingers, then legs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, robot fingers apparently is the move over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Just
index
install-
finger is a mouse. I just
Just
Rub my finger
replacing
on
my
stuff.
left arm with a Nintendo Power Glove right off the bat.
Do you guys have any idea how crazy screens or the concept of looking at a screen is going to be when projectors get more advanced and brighter and smaller pockets? Because already an LED projector can be the size of a wallet, but the brightness isn't there yet. And if you do the math on how it hits angles and you can detect, 3D thing with, the project the dots and look at the dots thing, the face hour does on your phone. The
Facial recognition.
Apple Face. So you do your Apple Face. You have that. It sees how things are contoured, does projection mapping to it, and then boom, you can have a screen that seems like it's floating right in front of you. That's what's going on with the prototype vehicle. I believe it's a Mercedes. Yes. When you want to change anything in the car, you just put your hand up. It tracks and finds your hand and projects an option on your hand. Then you just move your hand, and the different options end up projected on it, and you just grab one.
What?
And then your seats are
That's
heated.
gnarly.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you've got the scent pumped into the place or whatever.
Future is now, huh? Crazy.
No, that's not yet. The future is still in that Mercedes future. It's not until like Nissan has that in the Versa Note that it's
Yeah,
really
that
the
we
future.
can all get it.
Oh, your Versa Note doesn't have the grab the item in the middle of the sky thing?
Wow. It's like
Psych.
it's the next generation's aux cord
Yeah.
for the car.
Oh, I know. We're gonna lose the headphone jack.
That'd be weird.
But
Yeah,
it's already gone on iPhone. It's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
gone.
yeah. That'd be weird. Like kids, like, what the fuck's the screen?
Yeah. Oh, ew.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you just have to look right at it. It doesn't just
Yeah.
appear in front of your eyes.
It's just
That's
like
gross.
in my eye. I just want like the image like in my brain. Like, I don't even want to see it in front. I don't want anything to like pop up in front of me. It just needs to be
I can't
in my brain.
believe
I'm good.
how much time these old people spend talking to one another instead of just
Using the mind meld.
Yeah, instead of just flinging thoughts at one another, just apple blasting each other thoughts.
Yeah.
You just hold the phone screen facing up and blow across it, and then you wink, and then the person on the other end takes their phone, turns it 90 degrees counterclockwise, and coughs quietly into their shoulder. And then they receive the data, and then once they put it in their pocket,
It gets absorbed into their bloodstream.
exactly, that's when they really can get the muscle memory
I love
part
the
of it.
details of these.
And that's how I learned karate.
You know kung fu? I know kung fu.
All right, should we do last round of
Quick Benjamin break.
yeah.
Hey J9, you looking to get lucky tonight?
Why, do you know where I can get my lips on a dirty banana?
Do I? And I know where you can get your hands on a golden dong and pirate booty, giant clam, and even doorknobs you can get fresh with.
Is this place heaven?
No, this place is the Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road.
This sounds amazing.
The #1 tiki bar in Las Vegas, 3939 Spring Mountain Road, Golden Tiki.
Whoa there, cowboy. Is your love life drier than a June sagebrush poking pricklies on a desert cattle's bunghole? Well, look no further, fella. The cavalry has arrived. Spunk Lube. That's right, Spunk Lube. This ain't your average romance jelly jam. Whether you're sharing a 10-up and broke back or flying solo, Tonto, Spunk Lube will have you slinging your Cyclops and whistling out your Dixie. For group parties playing cowboys and Indians or just a quick one around in the chamber, Spunk Lube gets you hydrated for those long rides of bumping uglies into the sunset. Don't put a bounty on your head. Drizzle Spunk Lube instead. That's Spunk Lube, partner.
People love Dr. Squatch soap, and they want to share its glorious scent with everyone. But that can get awkward.
This is a little weird, even for us, but it smells amazing.
I agree, Mike. Which is why Dr. Squatch is making all-natural handcrafted candles now. The same all-natural quality ingredients, now with a wood wick to transform your home into a squatchy paradise. Go to drsquatch.com and get your handcrafted Squatch candle today.
Hey guys, listen up. Receive 20% off all orders $20 or more at Dr. Squatch when you use coupon code RVR20.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows. Plus, podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Behold! It's time. Greasy Conversation on Radio Vegas. .rocks. We're here looking at the CES stuff. This is the Razer Project Hazel mask. It's got what looks like boombox speaker time on your cheeks.
Makes you talk like Bane.
Everything is converted to truck driver CB radio talk when you use it.
Oh yeah.
And you can change your voice. It's got the voice changer built right in the sides.
It's got to. That's an in-app purchase. It's a microtransaction. You get it for that.
Yeah, that's the kidnapping option.
No.
You can see your face through it. It filters the air. and all that, which is a lot to fit in that cheek thing. So it's probably never
But
gonna get
that's
made.
my favorite part about masks is that people can only see like half my face anymore, and then I can just like.
Is it time to steal or is it time to hide?
No,
Yeah.
because I just like generally look angry all the time. Mainly because I don't want anyone to ever talk to me like when I'm walking down the street.
Yeah.
But
that
then like
is-
I don't
that
have
is
to worry
nice.
about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
See, well, I found what it's like. I both love and hate it. Is like when I'm in a grocery store, people act like they can't even make eye contact anymore. Like you walk down an aisle and it's like it's no longer like, oh, excuse me, like can I reach right there? They're just like everybody just avoids. They make no noises and they just like try to just like move past you without saying
Yeah.
anything. It's like the new like everybody's like thinks they're in incognito mode, right? Like and you're like I can see you, hello.
Especially in a city like this where it's not somewhere like Texas where people give you a little nod and smile
Yeah.
just for existing. I feel like I have to go out of my way to almost shout excuse me or pardon my reach at people
Yeah.
and almost impose eye contact sometimes just to get basic things done.
Yeah.
Especially on the road, there's so many more people that just have nothing to lose.
Oh yeah.
Going on out there. I saw someone blow through a stop sign or a stop light right in front of me after I was like, they don't look like they're going to stop. I'm going to chill a second.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And they weren't even going that fast. They just cruised through. They were like looking down. Their car was covered in dents. And as I'm like slowly rolling to T-Bone Town, because I'm like, at least finish running the red light, I'm like honking at them. And they look up and I'm just like, that person has just given up already anyway.
Oh,
And they
they're
don't
done.
care. They don't care who they take out on the way out.
No.
So I took that way more fatal than just the lack of friendliness with masks.
Yeah, that's like pretty close to like having to say excuse you really loud to someone in the store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much in the
Same
same,
thing.
vein.
So what do you think we're looking at right here, you guys? Have you
3D
heard of?
printed guitar?
No, but not unrelated of a concept. Have any of you ever heard of PLEKing your guitar? Ever heard about getting your guitar plecked?
I've heard of plucking a guitar, not plecking.
Yeah. So it's this German machine that measures all your frets and makes them all super even. And it's only $250 to have Sweetwater do this procedure.
Of course
Not
it's Sweetwater.
sponsored. Of course it's Sweetwater. And there's other
They
shops.
have everything.
You know, shout out to Sweetwater. I love them because every time we go to Sam and Ash, they'll match their prices, and I never have to order from
Yeah,
Sweetwater.
whatever drum shit I have to buy, I'm always just like, well, Sweetwater's at like $8.
Yeah, and they're like, okay,
no,
cool.
we have to match it. It's fucking Sweetwater.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's why I guess it should be shout out to Sam and Ash because they'll match that.
Yeah.
But like, thanks for being cheap, Sweetwater.
But you have to go to a location, and I love when I think I'm gonna get the cheapest thing for an instrument on Amazon, and I go and Sweetwater's beating Amazon even.
Oh, big
And-
time.
I'm not surprised.
And they'll give you a bag of candy.
Well,
Sweetwater gives you a
Oh, it
bag of
does.
candy.
Amazon hasn't told you that they are no longer like the latest and greatest with the deals. Like a lot of times you can get
Yeah.
better deals somewhere else. Now they just like
eBay.
they feel like they're grandfathered in with
Yeah.
that now. Like nobody asks questions. They just assume they're getting the best price on Amazon.
It's exactly what Walmart did. They got you
Mm-hmm.
used to the values, and then some random products will be a couple bucks more.
Oh, yeah.
And you just don't think to double check.
Yeah.
I always double check with eBay, and often find places, sellers between here and California, especially tech stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
electronic components, hobby boards and stuff. I'll get it from California days earlier than Amazon for less money.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, if they don't have the finger on that
Mm-hmm.
Arduino tip.
Buy direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buying direct from, and that's another good thing about eBay is you can get it directly from someone that has a store there too.
Yep.
And it's nice that Amazon can help people get some storefronts without setting up a website too, and that's kind of direct. But they're still like they're still throwing a bone to Amazon to even have the store there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with eBay. But yeah, if you can go right to the folks like Retro Game Repair Shop, not an intended plug. But when I do like a backlight mod for a Game Boy, or there's these Yamaha sequencers that the screen is the same size as that Game Boy Advance, so you can get like a front light for it and glow it up. Retro Game Repair Shop, holla. I'll just go right to their site. There's a few of them. Yeah, I like that buy direct move. That's a tip I'm going to take to heart a little bit more because I feel like I wasn't thinking about that as much. But there's some good examples. Anyway. Pleck your guitar. This guy did it to a $200 Squire, spent another $250 to have it plecked, and it's as if like a rare level luthier redid all the frets, and it plays like a Jackson now. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's like an ESP.
That's crazy.
Does it make all the frets like just super accurately spaced from each other?
And their heights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
And it
too.
fixes all their heights for like that low action shreddability moment. Anyhow, on the reverence and excitement of that,
How
introducing
about,
you
dude?
to
Can we? I
PLEK.
got a great squirrel story.
Take it to Squirrel Town. We haven't done enough wildlife this episode.
I love squirrels.
Yeah, there's always some cute wildlife in the
You're
show.
gonna love these squirrels. Apparently, these squirrels are attacking a neighborhood in Queens. Where
Those
there's
are
just
squirrel rats.
They've
They've combined. Yeah,
they're
I've seen them
rat-adjacent.
before.
But like, look at
They're rat-esque.
check out this photo. There's like, you have to pull up.
Oh my
There's
god.
just a picture. There's like just blood in the middle of snow.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
And that squirrel jumping up in the mirror, like
Oh.
hopping up behind someone with a knife, just about to just.
Oh. He means business.
Ah!
And then that
Oh
dude-
God.
Yeah, he's like, you
That
better
was too
not
much.
fucking
They've been
sit
like
down.
mega personified.
It's like, you better not sit down. I dare you.
Oh my gosh.
Have
you
you
wanna
seen
sit on my
Black
bench?
Sheep?
You better pay the rent.
Black Sheep?
Yeah, the New Zealand horror movie about
No.
sheep that are turned mutant and eat everybody.
No, but I
Yeah.
want to.
Oh, it's like this, so that you hear the bah, and then like everybody freaks out because they know the sheep are coming.
I love it.
Just like,
Some like terrible 80s animal or bug related horror movies are the best. Like there's
Oh,
one
and this one's kind of recent too. Black Sheep.
I remember seeing it like the last few years, but I haven't.
You missed out.
It's like the cover art for Pearl Jam Versus. Have you ever seen this? See, this picture is the actual cover. Isn't that terrifying? You never look at this. Yeah, this is Pearl Jam's second album. It kind of got buried after the meteoric success of 10, and then they released this album going into their battle with Ticketmaster, which drained them and ruined their taste for the mainstream, public-facing artist life in general, and led to them having a career in the shadows, just playing to giant arenas of just their fans. From this point on, after the Ticketmaster battle crushed them emotionally. That's why there's such great sleeper feel-good songs that you don't immediately like in following Pearl Jam albums that I highly recommend. Particularly the next two, Vitology and No Code, have these songs that just stick on the ribs forever, like they're made just for you, but you might not get them at first. Especially Vitology is hella that way. There's just like, why is the bass playing lead? And why is this like a ska riff, but it sounds evil? There's like really unique choices of arrangement in these songs.
Oh, I'm excited.
And then they just start to sound normal to you, and they're just great songs. But you pick them apart, and you're like, what? This solo is like 3 notes, but it sounds so scary.
So do you think they turned evil after the Ticketmaster fallout?
Vitology, yes, and then No Code, the opposite. No Code is like the angel to the demon of Vitology. It's like No Code's more optimistic and like a childhood sounding song about just being up in a tree and not worrying about anyone below and their problems and stuff. They don't even know it's me up here in my tree. It's so cool. Hail, Hail, the first song on No Code, Letterman used to play it during a commercial, or have the band play it during a commercial break at least once a week. Letterman's a giant Pearl Jam fan.
Interesting.
Yeah, I could go on too long about Pearl Jam lore, but that remind me of the sheep situation. Hey, we're getting close to the tail end. Can we look at some scary sinkholes really quick? Do you have anything queued up before that?
I got
Yeah.
one more. All right, so this guy got he went to the doctor and was having some weird pains down near hips, rectal area. They couldn't figure out what it was. Eventually, they scheduled him for spinal surgery because they thought he had some type of
Slip disc or something?
spinal stenosis,
Oh,
which is
wow.
where the spaces in between the spines narrow and puts pressure on all the nerves, can cause all kinds of problems. But turns out he had a fucking toothpick in his rectum.
Was it a wooden one? It couldn't be, because it would have dissolved, right? Who knows?
Not necessarily, man. No.
Aye, aye, aye.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that all that time he was experiencing all this pain, and it was Because you had a toothpick in
So
your ass
he,
the whole
like,
time.
swallowed a toothpick whole, or?
No, there's no way it entered him from that direction.
Yeah,
it would have been dissolved in his stomach.
Yeah. Generally, like, the rule of thumb is if there's something stuck in someone's ass, like, it got put there by someone.
Okay, so.
The pain went away quickly upon removal.
Yeah, I imagine.
2 years after he presented the pain.
Man.
Yeah, it was like long-term
So what do you
mystery.
think? Was it a wild night, or did he
sit on something?
Wild
yeah,
night
like
with
what,
Richard
what
Gere.
how do we think it happened?
What's crazier yet is
I-
how did it become sideways? Like, you know, just,
That's what I was wondering. I was
I-
like, how?
but why would
No.
you even start with that when what kind of impact is, how much are you going to notice that? Unless it was a bundle of them and he lost track of one.
Here's what he
No way a bundle.
he made a deal with some entity from somewhere, right? That to grant his wish, he had to sit this toothpick up his ass and fool a doctor. That was the thing. He had to find a doctor he could fool that couldn't figure it out. And if he could do that for 2 years, then you know, he gets that new.
All right, so where
You
is
think he got a
now?
new hip?
New
Elixir of everlasting life?
Do we have a follow
Just
up
a new pair of Converse.
news clipping of him? Like, where is he now? Did he win the Powerball?
Yeah, no, he
The
went to
article
Cabo.
said the article actually followed up on him specifically that he's all good.
He's all just,
After-
just living his
we're
life.
His
all
pains went away just fine.
After removing the
They
toothpick.
said the
in his ass.
toothpick had absorbed so much liquid that it fell apart once they removed it, but it was enough hanging out in there to be irritating. So it was more of an irritation than a
Crazy.
poke. So like a splinter. Y'all, is this the like?
Sitting on a splinter for 2 years.
Yeah, man.
It was like that.
Sign me up.
Oh my gosh! You Return of the Jetpack Man. I can't not click on this.
No, it was late last year. There were a lot of sightings of like dudes with jetpacks flying around airports in LA or like near airports.
Unidentified flying man in Los Angeles has finally been caught on video.
Which like
No
I don't know.
way.
Were you guys into Rocketeer?
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was classic. I always wanted a jetpack when I was a kid, but
Please be a
Well, also
YouTube
you
one.
got, you know, any of the Boba Fett's.
any of the
Yeah.
Boba Fett's.
all of them combined.
Please.
I don't know. I didn't
show
watch the video. I mean, it's
this
just gonna be it's
flying
just a bunch
man.
of sick people, man.
Yeah, and it's gonna put the
That
thing
doesn't
I'm looking
even
for at
have.
the
That's
end.
not even the one for that
Oh.
article. That's how they do that,
Does
dog.
he exist?
I fell for it. This is another ad for a pilot academy. None of this is content. All right, there's flying people in LA, and we'll never see them because advertising is more important.
See, I don't believe that. I think they try to steal a Florida Man headline and just change it to California for the hits.
Yeah.
Could be,
And this
yeah.
was just a regular flying Florida Man, and there's plenty of them. They're all out there. I don't know why you don't have the Florida Man series on this.
It's a regular old flying Florida man.
Yeah. I do try to pull some like Florida Man stuff once in a while, but
You have
I haven't
so
found
much.
any good ones.
There's so
lately.
much to carry into next
Oh, there's
week.
at least one a day.
Yeah.
Greg has so
I'll have
much
to-
juicy news to
I usually
to
do like
tell
that, like
next
Florida
week.
Man or Arizona. Just anytime any opportunity I can get to like shit on Arizona, I'm taking it. I'm there. I
Is
live
this
there.
a long bout?
So
like,
I don't really have
deep-
any
deep
particular
burn?
reason, but like you
It
know,
just
you
keeps
just
coming.
it's just Arizona,
yeah.
and like that's the
That's
only
enough?
reason you need.
Is
it.
that
yeah.
enough?
That's how I
It's-
feel about Australia. Yeah.
Have you
Arizona-
ever been to Arizona?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
have.
Then you know.
Oh. I guess I didn't know in the past, but I
or
do
have-
know now.
Or lived in it. So it's like, in some ways, the opposite of Florida, and in those same ways, just as bad. For example, Florida is really lawless.
Oh,
It's the
yes.
but it's also the stand your ground state, so you can like take law into your own hands in a special way. Whereas Arizona, while being in between Sin City State and California and Colorado, which is also very like, hey everybody, everything's legal, just go out in the snow on everything, and chill out, man, ride the pipe or whatever, the half pipe.
Ride the pipe?
Ride
Which
the
show,
pipe.
which show is this?
I'm trying to
Ride a
say,
pipe, man. Like,
I'm trying to say snowboarder stuff,
Oh, okay.
but it's not.
That's what
no,
snowboarders
shred
do?
the
They
gnar. Yeah.
Shred
Thank
the
you.
gnar.
So Arizona's in between these, and it's like it feels like a police state. You can get a ticket for running a yellow light. You get caught with any drug, and like
You're
that
in the
case
burning
follows
prison,
you.
right? They put
Yeah.
you out in those hot tents.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I heard about those.
in the
And
middle of
you
the desert.
Bust
Yeah.
rocks on the side of the street, and Sheriff Arpaio puts you in the hole. And it's scary, and I feel like it leads to similar antics to Florida, but for opposite reasons. There's no animals to kill you in Arizona. The cars just drive themselves, and you can just leave your doors unlocked, and it's fine or whatever. And yet, there's so much crazy stuff from Arizona that's its own flavor. It's like I feel
it's
like
got a similar Florida man flavor.
yeah, because you've still got this barren desert like situations too. It's not all Phoenix.
I just think like let's just think about the fact that like in America in the year 2021 there's literally a prison that is just tents in the desert.
Yeah.
Like that's where we send people for punishment in the future.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
One of the most inhospitable deserts too.
Yeah.
So speaking about sinkholes, I actually used to work with this chick who like that's her biggest fear. Like
Me too.
her most like irrational fear is like if there's any sort of tremor she feels like she will hit the ground thinking it's a sinkhole, like freaking out.
Not like grab something, because I like want to grab something.
I don't even know. Like she would just like we'd be in the back of house and something would happen and she would just lose her mind. She'd like either hit the ground or like hit a wall or something and just like start babbling bullshit. Sorry, AJ, you're great.
I don't have it's probably one of my biggest fears, but I don't have like an active procedure for it. Like I don't feel like I can even intuitively say or move my body anywhere to do anything about it. I just stare off into space and am afraid.
Would you spelunk to try to beat the fear?
Heck no.
Yeah, right?
Oh, I'm down for
'Cause
spelunking.
I don't
I'll go
want
spelunking.
I don't want some earth to come down on me. No, I've done some cave exploring and like trendy caves where that
Trendy
people have
caves?
been there. Yeah,
Oh.
like Carlsbad or something where it's like people go there. I'm not
Like,
exploring.
like touristy caves.
People go there.
Exactly. Yeah, I only go to hip caves, y'all. What do you guys think this green liquid is in this?
Oh, Secret of the Ooze, obviously. I
Right?
see the little turtles like growing like in the
dude.
side.
Oh,
I want it now. I want to bathe in
turtles.
it.
So many cute animals in this episode. So it's actually just a dye they use to see what was getting
What type of
contaminated.
ooze?
Yeah, because there was another sinkhole.
What type of ooze?
See, this what looks like a cracked desert was actually the bottom of a lake, where a sinkhole opened up and gobbled up this lake, and not far from it, there was another sinkhole here, and this guy bought this whole property with a park and a rec center for like 10 grand, and then he filled this in. It took 110 semi trucks worth of dirt to fill
Damn.
this in. Who wants to live there, where the ground will just eat you up inevitably?
I'll risk it.
Because one of these. Look at this one.
That one
Reopened.
looks like quicksand a little bit.
There was one. This one, the way it's shot is so extra scary because they're
I
just basically
know.
not showing the bottom. This is in Mexico City. That's enough distance to definitely die. That's my
Yeah,
least
you'll be
favorite.
busted up.
No, I'm sorry, Guatemala City. Okay, you'd be busted up. One of these in China, they filled in, and it opened up again. So
That would be the wor- I hope it happened like right after the last
Piece
guy
of
like
dirt.
just did like the last shovel from the truck and then just the whole
not again.
looks like we're getting some overtime.
He just looks at the camera and just
Yeah.
shrugs. Bonk, bonk.
So wholesome.
So we're at the last home stretch. What else can we tie it up with? Do you have any final nuggets? And then, of course, holler at us about anything you see in here that you want us to touch on more, and we'll try to grab it for the next episode, too. This whole second half, I think, is going to get in the next episode.
I just have something I want people to think about more often, and that is
Drop it on 'em.
crimes involving chicken nuggets. Because
It's
they
a
happen
thing.
more often than you think.
It's a trend.
And it's kind of crazy.
Increasingly more so, too.
I'm not surprised to hear about this.
Wait, are we talking about the nuggets or the sauces?
Either or. Just
Okay.
any
Wait,
crime
solid, yeah.
that is caused usually for being shorted a chicken nugget or something like that, people go ballistic.
That has happened to me, and I'll tell you, if I had not already eaten part of one of them, I would have been pissed. You know,
Yeah.
it's like when you're hangry,
Yeah.
all bets are off.
Found like a beak.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between being like hangry and then climbing behind the counter and beating up the dude who's frying nuggets, you know, like shit like that.
You pay for an
Just
extra
happens.
nugget, you want an extra nugget. Come on.
Right.
Schnuggets. So what can I plug for you guys at the tail end? Where also, first of all, gonna have you all back on.
Oh,
It'll be
we're
great.
we're
Yeah,
excited.
definitely.
So we just
And we're bringing a nemesis next time.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah, oh, that's happening. We're bringing Waz's nemesis.
We won't dominate you conversationally as much. We'll actually let you talk the next episode. And that should be where we button it up and remind everyone to stay listening for the Grungy Faucet with Kevin Fawcett, because every episode he takes me to these pockets as a 90s kid of great grunge album tracks that you talk about with your friends and bump in your Honda Civics.
Wait, can we get on that one instead?
You have to tragically go to Ely, the city.
Ooh.
It's not too
So,
far.
We've passed it a few times. We could make a pit stop.
yeah, you'd have to find some other reason to be there. Good luck. Shout out. We love y'all. And so stick tuned to that, because when you stay around, you get the Grungy Faucet situation. Click on those banners at radiovegas.rocks. Take your vitamins. Y'all brush your teeth. And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
And now is the best time to talk shit about everyone.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. There was like one in some early season before we like totally killed the broadcast because we used to do the Facebook one at the same time.
Yeah, and someone said something.
Someone just started like talking shit about someone hardcore right
Like,
after.
And we're still going on.
And like we
I
were still
love it.
broadcasting, and like you know, who knows if they found out, but it was like in all of our circles of friends and shit. It was just kind of funny. So that was like the rule. It's like as soon as the show's done, you gotta start talking shit about someone.